All right, all right. Okay, we are on lesson number 169 of A Course in Miracles student workbook. So the theme is still, as in yesterday, was is grace. So I mentioned it on the last video, but this was the little sacred stone that we did. It's a little bit dirty because they mentioned to just carry it with us at all times. So I always have that in my purse, and that's a sacred stone from Israel, and we did that in the beginning of the new year. Picking a word for ourselves. So they said, really quiet your mind and meditate on what that new word would be. And this is based off the Paul passage in the Bible. So yeah. Okay, so here we go. Let me do it. Lesson number 169. So what I'm going to do is I'll read it. I'm also going to put the text in here. This is like something new I'm going to do. But if you can, want to read it yourself, then I'll put it on there too, because sometimes it takes a couple readings to really sink in. Okay, lesson number 169. By grace I live, by grace I am released. Grace is an aspect of the love of God, which is most like the state prevailing in the unity of truth. It is the world's most lofty aspiration, for it leads beyond the world entirely. It is past learning, yet the goal of learning. For grace cannot come until the mind prepares itself for true acceptance. Grace becomes inevitable instantly to those who have prepared a table where it can be gently laid and willingly received, an altar clean for the holy gift. Grace is the acceptance of the love of God within a world of seeming hate and fear. By grace alone, the hate and fear are gone. For grace presents a state so opposite to everything the world contains that those whose minds are lightened by the gift of grace cannot believe the world of fear is real. Grace is not learned. The final step must go beyond all learning. Grace is not the goal this course aspires to attain, yet we prepare for grace in that an open mind can hear the call to awaken. It is not shut tight against God's voice. It has become aware that there are things it does not know, and thus is ready to accept a state completely different from the experience with which it's familiarly at home. I guess that. We have perhaps appeared to contradict our statement that the revelation of the Father and the Son as one has been already said. But we have also said that the mind determines when that time will be and has determined it. And yet we urge you to bear witness to the word of God to hasten the experience of truth and speed its advent into every mind that recognizes truth's effect on you. Oneness is simply the idea God is. And in his being, he encompasses all things. No mind holds anything but him. We say, God is, and then we cease to speak. For in that knowledge, words are meaningless. There are no lips to speak them. There are no part of the mind sufficiently distinct to feel that it is now aware of something not itself. It has united with its source, and like its source itself, it merely is. We cannot speak, nor write, nor even think of this at all. It comes to every mind when total recognition that its will is God's has completely given and received completely. It returns to the mind into endless present, where the past and the future cannot be conceived. It lies beyond salvation, past the thought of time, forgiveness in the holy face of Christ. The Son of God has merely disappeared into his Father, and his Father as in him. The world has never been at all. Eternity remains a constant state. This is beyond experience we try to hasten. Yet forgiveness, taught and learned, brings with it experiences which bear witness that the time the mind itself determined to abandon all but this now at hand. We do not hasten it, in that what you will offer has concealed from him who teaches what forgiveness means. All learning was already in his mind, accomplished and complete. He recognized all that time holds and gave it to all the minds that each one might determine, from a point where time was ended, when it is released to revelation and eternity. We have repeated several times before that you make a journey that is done. For oneness must be here. Whatever time the mind has set for revelation is entirely irrelevant to what must be a constant state. Forever, as it always was, forever to remain as it is now, we merely take the part assigned long since and fully recognize as perfectly fulfilled by him who wrote salvation's script in his creator's name and in the name of his creator's son. There is no need to further clarify what no one in the world can understand. When revelation of your oneness comes, it will be known and fully understood. Now we have work to do. For those in time can speak of things beyond and listen to words which explain what is to come is past already. Yet what meaning can the words convey to those who count the hours still and rise and work and go to sleep by them? Suffice it, then, that you have work to do to play your part. The ending must remain obscure to you until your part is done. It does not matter, for your part is still what all the rest depends on. As you take the role assigned to you, salvation comes a little nearer each uncertain heart that does not beat as yet in tune with God. Forgiveness is the central theme that runs throughout salvation, holding on to its parts in meaningful relationships. The course it runs directed and its outcome sure. And now we ask for grace, the final gift salvation can bestow. Experience that grace provides will end in time. For grace foreshadows heaven, yet does not replace the thought of time, but for a little while. The interval suffices. It is here that miracles are laid, to be returned by you from the holy instant you receive. Through grace in your experience to all who see the light that lingers in your face. What is the face of Christ but his who went a moment into timelessness and brought a clear reflection of the unity he felt an instant back to bless the world? How could you finally attain to it forever? While a part of you remains outside, unknowing, unawakened, and in need of you as witness to truth. Be grateful to return as you were glad to go an instant, and accept the gifts that grace provided you. You can carry them back to yourself, and revelation stands not far behind. Its coming is ensured. We ask for grace, for experience that comes from grace. We welcome the release it offers. We welcome the release it offers. We do not ask for the unaskable. We do not look beyond what grace can give. For this, we can give in the grace that has been given us. Our learning goal today does not exceed this prayer. Yet in the world, what could be more than what we ask this day of him who gives the grace as we ask, as it was given him? All right, so by grace I live, by grace I am released, by grace I give, and by grace I release. I will release. All right, so that's our lesson for today on 169 from A Course in Miracles student workbook. So I just love it. So it's really beautiful because it says, once you've experienced that that timelessness, that oneness, that complete oneness, like a revelation, then our job, our part is to bring that knowledge and that beauty and that peace and that just unconditional love and forgiveness, to the world. And so just being the light and staying in that as often as possible. I know it's not always the easiest thing to do, but I think as you practice it, it'll get easier and easier. So, anyways, that's our lesson for today. I thought it was really awesome, and I love my little grace thing that I have here. It holds like a new special meaning, so that's kind of cool. Anyways, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care.